Is that recording? It sure is. What a handsome person. Not. Okay. We're not here for vanity. We're not here to make you feel happy. We're here to tell you the truth. A lot of people don't hear the truth. Well, this is daily scripture study with Walt. Targeted individual, RH negative. Currently, I do a study, a scripture, which I'm getting back on track every morning, which is good to put first. If you have the time, make it, do it, read scripture. It'll keep you in scripture. I find out it keeps you grounded. It keeps the scripture in your head. As we are humans, you need to keep reading it. You need to write it on your vehicle, write it on your doorpost, write it on your table, write it everywhere, because we as humans need to be reminded this world is full of sin, and it will drag you down if you do not pay attention. The devil's wily, and he will trick you in so many ways, and he uses humans to trick you. And this is a world that they have mastered. 6,000 years of deception, and they're trying really hard. Well, there are stalkers in the vicinity, and they do not like scripture because they're demonically motivated. They don't know that, but they are. But at any rate, we like reading scripture for everybody, edifying, proving, through fear and trembling, growing. All right, we're on Deuteronomy, same as Exodus 20. It's the commandments, setting the covenant. Okay, thank you. I know, ugly human. Okay. It's all right. It's a tent God baby. I'm comfortable. My dogs love me. So do my stalkers. Not. And Moses called all Israel and said to them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and the judgments which I speak in your hearing today, that you may learn them and be careful to observe them. Excuse me. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, those who are here today, all of us who are alive. The Lord talked with you face to face on the mountain from the midst of the fire. I stood between the Lord and you at that time to declare you the word of the Lord, for you were afraid because of the fire, and you did not go up to the mountain. He said, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself any carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands to those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. That means saying, oh God, for no reason, because you're calling him. Don't do it. Learn. Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy, as the Lord your God commanded you. Sunday was the first day of the week. Saturday is the original day of rest. The calendar has been changed several times, but if you research enough, you can get to the truth. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your donkey, nor any of your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you. Remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and that the Lord your God brought you out from there by a mighty hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore the Lord your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother, as the Lord your God has commanded you, that your days may be long, and that it may be well with you in the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, and you shall not desire your neighbor's house, his field, his manservant, his maidservant, his ox, his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words the Lord spoke to all your assembly in the mountain from the midst of the fire, the cloud, and the thick darkness with the loud voice, and he added no more. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me. So it was when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness, while the mountain was burning with fire, that you came near to me, all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And you said, surely the Lord our God has shown us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that God speaks with man, yet he still lives. Therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of the Lord our God anymore, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh who has heard the voice of the living God speaking from the midst of the fire, as we have, and lived? You go near and hear all that the Lord our God may say, and tell us all that the Lord our God says to you, and we will hear and do it. Then the Lord heard the voice of your words when you spoke to me, and the Lord said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people, which they have spoken to you. They are right in all that they have spoken. Oh, that they had such a heart in them, that they would fear me and always keep my commandments, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go and say to them, return to your tents. But as for me, stand here by me, and I will speak to you all the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which you shall teach them, that they may observe them in the land which I am giving them to possess. Therefore you shall be careful to do as the Lord your God has commanded. You shall not turn aside to the right or to the left. You shall walk in all the ways which the Lord your God has commanded you, that you may live, that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which you shall possess. Now this is a commandment in which the Lord your God has commanded to teach you, that you may observe them in the land which you are crossing over to possess, that you may fear the Lord your God, to keep all his statutes, his commandments, which I command you, and your son, and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Therefore hear, O Israel, and be careful to observe it, that it may be well with you, and that you may be multiplied greatly, as the Lord your God your Father has promised you, a land flowing with milk and honey. Excuse me. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. All these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Never forget, write it down. If need be, write it everywhere. Do not worry about man. This is my input. Man's always going to try to drag you down because most of mankind follows Satan, whether he knows it or not. These are real things happening. Satan's going to try to get you off the path by trying to get you to mix with the world and do worldly things. The only way to keep on this word is you got to read it. You got to bind it to your doorpost, write on your doorpost, write it on your car, write it on your dashboard, write it on your night table, write it on your kitchen table, write it on your coffee cup. Do not forget. This is the only thing that's going to get you through to heaven. Or, like a video game, it's game over. Or you want to go to the next level? I do. Want to join me? And it shall be when the Lord your God brings you into the land of which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give you a large and beautiful cities which you did not build, houses full of all good things which you did not fill, hewn out wells which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. When you have eaten and are full, then beware lest you forget the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. You shall fear the Lord your God and serve him, and shall take oaths in his name. You shall not go after other gods, the gods of the people who are around you, for the Lord your God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord your God be aroused against you and destroy you from the face of the earth. You shall not tempt the Lord your God